Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. Today I am going to show you 2 recipes that are perfect to make if you want to cut back on refined sugar or if you just got a little candy bar addiction. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. Before we go on with the rest of the video, let me put y'all on to something I've seen buzzing all over the internet: colostrum. When Miracle Moo reached out to me and offered to let me try the product, I just knew I had to jump on it. If you don't know what colostrum is, it is a natural superfood with hundreds of essential nutrients. And there are so many benefits, from just helping with your overall gut health to boosting that hair growth, okay, that nail growth, glowing skin, y'all. But the main reason why I was interested was because of the prebiotic benefits that just help promote beneficial bacteria in your gut. I've been taking colostrum for 2 weeks and I've already noticed that my energy is boosted, my skin is glowing, and this really helps with bloating, especially after I eat a heavy meal. What really stands out to me about Miracle Moo over other brands is their unique ingredient, immunolin. It's backed by 35 years of research, making it super effective in enhancing the nutrient absorption of colostrum. Plus, their formula is completely natural. There's no additives, soy, or gluten. It's super easy to mix into drinks and very affordable. Most colostrum products are over $100 plus, but Miracle Moo is only $39.95. Plus, if you follow the link in the description box and use the code Kamira10, you'll receive 10% off and free shipping. Let me know if this product works for you. This first recipe is my absolute favorite, and if you're someone who loves like a Twix or a Snicker or something like that, this will be a great replacement. So I am going to be using almond flour as well as a little bit of this monk fruit blend. First, I'm going to take 1 3/4 cups of almond flour, and into that I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of this monk fruit sweetener and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. You could also use honey. Then I'm going to add some coconut oil, some vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. And I'm going to mix this until it is well combined. Let me tell y'all, just this right here be tasting like that no-bake cookie dough. Honey, I could eat this just like it is, but we're not going to do that. Okay, we are going to keep going with the recipe. So once it is well combined, I am going to put this into a 8x8 baking dish with some parchment paper. To help the parchment paper just mold into the pan better, I put a little bit of water on my hands and I dabbed it over the paper. Then I'm going to add in my dough and use a spatula to press everything into all the corners and crevices just so it's in there really well. Then you can cut off some of the excess paper on the side of your sheet so it doesn't burn while it's baking. I'm going to take a fork and just poke some holes all around the shortbread. I'm going to bake this in the oven for about 15 minutes until it is golden brown on the top. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite alternatives to candy bars, and what do you do when a sweet craving just kicks in? Into a bowl, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of peanut butter, but you could also use cashew butter, almond butter, any nut butter that you like. I'm then going to add a little bit of vanilla extract, 1/3 cup of coconut oil, and 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and a pinch of salt. Now, this maple syrup is not going to make this peanut butter super sweet. Okay, remember, it's going to be spread out over the whole tray of bars. So it's only going to end up being a few teaspoons in every square. So this is really not super sweet at all. And this peanut butter had no sugar in it. It was just natural peanuts. I'm also going to add a dash of cinnamon, and I just warmed this up in the microwave for about 30 seconds so that the coconut oil could melt. Once the shortbread base is ready, I'm going to take it out and allow it to rest on the counter for at least 15 minutes because you don't want it to be too hot when you pour on that peanut butter. Okay, let me know if you're a peanut butter lover in them comments, okay? Because I just feel like peanut butter ain't been getting no love ever since almond butter and all that stuff been hot out there in them streets. But y'all, this is going to be so good. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes or until that peanut butter coconut oil layer has solidified. The chocolate that I'm going to put on top is this 85% chocolate. Now, technically, okay, I know some of y'all going to hit me with a technicality. This chocolate does have a little bit of sugar. There is literally about 2 tablespoons of sugar in 2 of the full bars, which is super low. But I have a difficult time finding chocolate that is like 100% sugar free. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Into the chocolate, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I'm going to microwave this in intervals of 30 seconds until the chocolate is fully melted. It takes about 1.5 minutes for this chocolate, and I just mix it every 30 seconds just to see where the chocolate has gotten. Now, one thing you don't want to do, baby, is over melt this chocolate, okay? Because it will start to burn on you. So make sure you are looking at it closely. Now that my peanut butter has solidified, I'm then going to add on my chocolate layer. And this is why adding the coconut oil is so important, because since coconut oil is a solid oil, just like cocoa butter, when it gets cold or at room temperature, it's going to allow your bars to stay a bit more solid. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes or until that chocolate has solidified, and then I can cut this into bars. This treat is very decadent, okay? It's not very sweet, but because of the fat from the peanuts and the coconut oil, this is going to be very satisfying. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, Kamira, this is too high in fat. Look, baby, I can't give you low fat, low sugar, low carb, no salt, no this. Baby, look, if you want water, just drink water. Okay. Baby, I'm just giving you a low sugar alternative to a candy bar that's gonna kick that craving. It's only going to take about 1.5 inch square to really satisfy you because of how rich they are. So I just wrap them up in little squares about that size in plastic wrap, and I store them in the fridge. They are best eaten cold so that you have a nice bite on them. My next idea is perfect for you all that like to get that boost of energy while also satisfying that sweet craving. The basis of this one is some medjool dates. These dates are nice and juicy, and they really have a lot of stickiness to them. Make sure you take the pits out of these dates, honey, because you don't want to bite into some and crack that tooth, and then you got to be going to that dentist paying all that money, okay? I'm going to take the pit out of about 2 to 2.5 cups of dates. You can go a little heavy on the date side because they're really what's going to bind the bar. And if you don't like that strong date flavor, don't worry. It doesn't really come through with the other ingredients that I'm using. I'm also going to be using some raw cashews as well as unsalted dry roasted peanuts, but really you can use any peanut or seed blend you like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, do whatever makes you happy, okay? I have about 3 tablespoons of water, and into this I'm going to put a little bit of espresso powder. It's going to bring out the chocolatey flavor that I'm going to add to these bars. For this recipe, you are going to need a food processor because, baby, I don't think you can just tackle this one by hand, okay? So I'm going to be putting in about 1.5 cups of peanuts and 1 cup of cashews, then about 2 tablespoons of almond butter, as well as some vanilla extract and 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then all of those dates. Because there's no salt in this equation yet, I'm going to put about 1/4 teaspoon of salt as well. A lot of people like to do these type of fruit and nut bars by soaking the dates or whatever dried fruit they're using. I don't like to do that because I feel like it just introduces too much water to the recipe, and I feel like you lose some of the flavor of the dried fruit in the soaking liquid. So instead, I just like to add about 3, maximum 4 tablespoons of water just straight into the food processor. I'm going to pulse this and then allow it to just blend until everything's kind of crumbled up. You're going to know that it's good when you press it with your hands, the mixture starts to come together. I felt like my mixture was just a wee bit dry, so I put in that extra tablespoon of water and then I just pulsed it again until it was combined. You're going to notice that my mixture appears to be a little bit crumbly, like the peanuts are kind of piecey and it's not like one big formed dough, but that is not a problem because once you press it together and this refrigerates, it is going to stay together. This recipe is going to remind you of those fruit and nut bars like lar bars, those type of things. But y'all know them things are super expensive. One bar will cost you like $1.25, $1.50. Them things is high, okay? This is actually way more, affordable because you get a lot of bars for the amount of money you have to spend and you can make them a lot bigger. Plus, it's really easy to customize them to your favorite flavor. Once I have the mixture thoroughly compacted, you want to make sure it's really compacted so that the bars do stay together and become solid. I am going to stick this in the refrigerator for about 2 hours. You can do it overnight or forget about it a couple days, but you just want to make sure that it is frozen completely cold. And I'm going to cover it with saran wrap because I don't want it to dry out in the refrigerator. When it is about time to take out the bars, I'm going to melt that chocolate the same way I melted it the first time with a little bit of coconut oil in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. Then I'm going to pour it all over the top of these bars. I really feel like you cannot skip the chocolate on this. I mean, technically you could eat this without having the chocolate on top, but since we're going to make this a little bit decadent and this is a candy bar replacement, I feel like it definitely needs the dark chocolate. And combined with this fruit, it almost gives this chocolatey peanut butter taste, which really is reminiscent of a candy bar. Plus, it's filling. I put this back into the fridge for about 30 more minutes to solidify the top chocolate layer. And then I'm going to cut this into individual servings. You could either do long bars or small squares, whatever it takes to satisfy your little chocolate craving. And I'm going to wrap these up in saran wrap just like I did the other ones. And I'm going to store these in the fridge. Both of these recipes will last in the fridge for about 3 weeks, maybe even almost a month, especially if you have a really cold fridge. Another option for storage is to wrap them in saran wrap and then wrap them in a foil layer and stick them in a freezer bag. If you want to freeze them, you're going to want those 2 layers of protection just to keep out any funky flavors from the freezer, or you could vacuum seal them first before you stick them in the freezer to maintain that freshness. Y'all, do y'all see that delicious chocolate layer as well as that fruit and nut? This is a really good recipe. It'll give you tons of energy and it tastes delicious. Let me know in the comments which one of these recipes you are going to try and let me know how much you love them. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I'll see you next time at Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.